Many of you guys might really know me already because I was a rock musician for the better part of my life. As a matter of fact, I played music for almost 17 years. You might know a lot of the bands that I used to work with. I'll tell you who they are, and you can hiss and boo for the ones you love. When I first got my big break in the music biz, I was a drummer for the Luther Robinson Blues Band. And while I worked with Luther, I got a chance to open a lot of shows and play in the studio. First time I got a chance to work with some people they were called Cheap Trick. Remember them? All right, now. Also, I had an opportunity to work for a guy. He's probably too old. You probably won't remember him, but I had a chance to do some studio work with a guy by the name of Mickey Jagger. Too old for you? Remember him? Yeah, okay. But my favorite band was Sha Na Na. No, no, no. Well, I don't really feel bad. I didn't really want to work with Sha Na Na, but you must understand. See, back in those days, I had a very bad social disease. Maybe you caught this before. It's called broke, busted, and disgusted. You ever hear that before? Yeah. I mean, I used to go to work, I used to put all my drums in a Volkswagen, right? And my Volkswagen had a real big hole right in the middle of the floor. I was probably the first black dude in America to have a Fred Flintstone car, you know? Then I started riding to work in limousines. Now, let me tell you, limousines are very, very, very nice. You get into a limousine, right? They got television, they got bars, they got video games. Pac-Man is partying in the back seat, right? And then you cruise up to the studio, and I've always liked it when some white guy comes down and opens the door for me. It's a nice change of pace. I say, thank you, James. Take it out and polish it up, you know? But when you get inside the studio, one thing that I've always noticed all my life, and I was guilty too, every single musician in the studio was smoking dope, right? And I said, well, thank you. All right, I had mine. We were smoking, getting loaded, getting ready. And the guy next to me said, hey. I said, what? He said, there was a girl in here last night, man. She got so high, her eyeballs turned green, spun around backwards, and blew right out of her head. And I went. There's another guy in the studio who you should know too. He's called a producer. Producers are very strange animals. Producers talk like that. They say, wait a minute, wait a minute. Green eyeballs rolling around backwards. We're going to make lots of money on that. I said, man, get out of here. Nobody's going to buy the garbage. He said, oh, yeah, yes, they will, yes, they will. If the kids in America, it's not that stupid. He said, ISS famous. I said, well, I don't know. I never heard the guys before. I know of them, but I never heard them. He said, go check them out. So I did. That night I went down to the Coliseum where KISS was playing, and I said, all right, we're going to see how these guys make the money, all right. So I paid my $10 at the door, and I went in, I sat down, lights went out, and 2 hours later they came out, and they started to play, and I got mad. And I stood up and walked down the aisle. I said, stop the show! Turn on the lights! I paid $10 to get in here, Mr. KISS. $10. And all I see is your tongue rolling in and out of your face. What are you, a lizard? And speaking about your face, you ever wash it? I mean, one half is white, one half is black. You must be confused. I'll tell you something else. If nobody else never told you this before, you ain't gonna never get a girlfriend with that fire coming out your mouth. If your breath is that bad, you better get some scope, Jack. And turn that garbage down or I'll take my money somewhere else. But what do the musicians say? When you say you're gonna take your money somewhere else, they go, oh, no, no, no. And they know after every concert, you're gonna give a standing ovation. That's standard. You know what it looks like from the stage when you're going, more, 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 more? It looks like, and the musicians are saying the same thing in the back. Yeah, more, more, more. But what are they talking about? What do they want from us? Money. Do they love us? No, what do they want? They want the money. You somehow think that they're saying, oh, this song I have made with all my heart and with all my might. And I made it for you. What's your name? And she goes, oh, they made it for me, they made it for me. And they say, no, we made it for money. Sorry, babe. You got to understand that every single time that you go into your pocket and come out with some money, there will be some musician, some producer, or some executive there to rip you off. They are after one thing and one thing only. You've got to learn how to keep your big eye open so you don't get ripped off. You know what the big eye is? Have you ever seen it on the back of a $1 bill? What do you see? Big eye on top of what? All right, well, let's check it out here. See a big eye, and it's on top of a pyramid. Well, this is called the all-seeing eye, and it's put on the back of a $1 bill to keep Americans from getting ripped off. But it seems that young Americans really enjoy getting ripped off. That's why you don't go at light speed anymore. You know what light speed is? You ever see Star Wars? Who saw Star Wars at least 3 times? Well, I like the part when Han Solo said, don't tell me how fast my ship can go, watch this. Light speed, and all the stars went, bzzz, and I was in the back getting high. I said, whoa, all right. I never saw nothing go at light speed to go that fast before, but I was wrong. I was totally wrong. I now realize that every single one of us goes at light speed every day. If you didn't, you would not survive. What about with girls when you're cooking in the kitchen, right, and you put your hand right on top of that hot frying pan? Do you go at slow speed? No. Does your hand wait for your eyeballs to check it out? Ah! Oh, I didn't see it. Well, you did. I'm sorry, really. That's light speed. Shoo, right? We used to play a game in my neighborhood. I think you call it Simon Says, but we used to call it Leroy Says, you know? And you had to be fast. You had to go at light speed, right? Everybody goes at light speed. If you didn't, you wouldn't live. Light speed means you want to be the best that you can be. Remember Obi-Wan Kenobi? He was the wizard, or you might say the wimp of Star Wars, right? Obi said, "Oh, Han Solo, what's taking so long to make the jump to light speed? The Empire's coming." Han Solo said, "Be cool, Obi. We have to check our computers first." Well, hey, we have computers too. Let me show you the computers that we have. We have a physical body computer. We have a very large mental body computer. We even have a larger emotional body computer. But you are the captain of your Lightspeed cruiser, and you sit right here in the real self computer. And this is where you must make decisions. This is your decision-making process. And the big I is your consciousness that keeps you from getting ripped off. There are many people in this country today who would like to rip you off. They don't want you to make a good decision. Why don't they want you to make a good decision? So they can get money. And I'll tell you who they are. Number one, there is Alcohol Man. And number two, there is Tobacco Man. Number three, there is Dope Man. And last but not least, there is Music Man. And I knew these guys pretty good. I used to be a marijuana grower myself. So I said, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And they said, we're not making enough money. I said, "Well, how come?" "Well, you see, the kids have all got this big eye opening. We can't rip them off." I said, "No problem. Let Don Giovanni Panucci here show you how to do it. All you got to do is mess up the physical body, then you mess up the mental body, then you shut down the emotional body, and the big eye will close automatically, and you can rip them off every single time." Now, who can do that? And one guy stood up in a three-piece suit. He said, "I do a good job." And I said, "Oh, it's Alcohol Man, all right." Now, I knew Alcohol Man could do a very excellent job of ripping people off, because a very beautiful woman taught me about Alcohol Man. She was probably the most beautiful woman that I've ever known in my entire life. She was my mother. My mom died when I was in 6th grade. She had a disease called alcoholism, and this is the type of alcoholic my mother was. She would sit up in a dark room all by herself at night with a glass in this hand and a garbage can in this hand. She would drink and vomit, drink and vomit, drink and vomit. And she had a terrible disease called alcoholism. And no matter how much she wanted to stop, she could not, until finally she lost her kidneys and her liver. And it took her 10 to 20 years to become that type of an alcoholic. But I have another friend, her name is Lori, and Lori started drinking when she was 8 years old. I said, "Lori, how did you start when you were 8 years old?" She said, "It was easy. You see, at dinner time I would have a sip of mommy's wine and a sip of daddy's beer. And they call that home education. And when mom and dad had a party, I would sneak around and have a sip of everybody's drink. And everybody said I was real cute. So I started being cute all the time. With mom, without mom, sneaking it on the way to school. And then I didn't want to be cute anymore, but I couldn't stop. And she became an alcoholic. Nobody bothered to tell Lori that it only takes young people your age and younger 1/10 the time to become an alcoholic. It took my mother 10 to 20 years. Lori did it in 10 to 15, 20 months. She became almost the same type of alcoholic. Now here's something else you should know. Lori doesn't drink anymore. She hasn't had a drink for 2 years. Is she an alcoholic anymore? Yeah, there's absolutely no cure for alcoholism. Now I have a phenomenon that I want to tell you about. This is the most strange, this is the 9th wonder of the world. It's called teenagers. You ever run into any of those guys? Woo, man, something else. You should check them out. They got weird habits. They like to get into cars, right, where people drink and drive. Woo, all right. Party, party, woo, get down, woo. Or else they like to drink, smoke dope, and then they try to drive. No, don't laugh. I drive better when I'm high. I really get into it. I get into the little spot on the front of my car. I get into driving on the wrong side of the road. Woo, that's fun. Sometimes I get into not using the road at all. Sometimes I get into the hospital, but that doesn't count. As a matter of fact, almost every single high school that I have ever been to in almost 3 years, there's been at least one drinking and driving fatality in that school. Has there been any here in the last couple years? One? I see some faces going. And you know, no one ever says drinking is not cool. They say party, 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 party. And in America, party means do drugs. But for young people, party means to die young. Now here's why. In America, it is proven now that people are living longer and longer. Their death rate is going down. But teenagers are dying quicker than anybody else. Their death rate is going up. Why? Drugs, alcohol, and driving. They don't mix. There is something else called suicide. And suicide is very difficult for parents to understand. See, parents don't understand. Young people are drinking a lot nowadays, and alcohol is a depressant. We call it a downer, right? And marijuana ends up being a downer also. School can be. Teachers very often are. Parents are always a pain in the butt. And when you put those all together, what do you get? Shoo! And they're never ever going to tell us the truth. Between my wife and I, we have almost 5 alcoholics in our families, in our immediate families. How many people here know an alcoholic either in your families or somewhere in your community that you're close to? How many alcoholics do you know? Hands up. Well, when alcohol man sees all these hands, you know what he says? We're in the money. We're in. What does he want from us? Money. Another guy says, Giovanni. I said, hey, how you doing? He says, Che dici gumbati? I said, what? He said, Calawazori comba felice, comba felice. I said, I know spaghetti face. I know what that means. That means the money is the most important thing. He says, see, Giovanni. Then how come I don't see all the hands up? I only see some of the hands up, so I'm not going to make all the money. I'm only going to make some of the money. I don't care if you have to wipe out all the kids. I want to make all the money. I'm a greedy man. I said, well, I can't wipe out all the kids by myself. I need some help. He said, I got adjusted the manna for you. I said, who is he? He's coming at the door now. Who's there? And the guy says, do not fear. The joint and the bong is here. I said, dope man, is that you? He says, yeah. Can you wipe out all the kids? He says, no problem. I said, no, man. I said, we got to wipe out all the kids. No problem. Look, it's not that I'm so good. It's just that they don't understand. When you pick up a joint, you're holding on to 421 different chemicals that the scientists know nothing about. I said, all right, 421 different chemicals in a pound of marijuana. He said, what? I said, not a pound? He said, no. I said, whew, they don't stand a chance. 421 different chemicals jammed into an ounce of marijuana. He said, boy, you better get some Roto-Rooter for your ears. I said, wait a minute, are you trying to tell moi that there's 421 different dangerous chemicals in one joint? He says, now you're cooking. And he said, my favorite one is called THC. I said, well, what's the big deal about THC? He says, well, look, did you see all the hands that went up? And I said, yeah. He said, alcohol man got those with one chemical. Alcohol is only one water-soluble chemical. I said, what do you mean by water-soluble? He said, well, listen. You see all the hands that went up with alcohol man? He got those hands with one chemical, not 421. One water-soluble chemical called alcohol. And here's how it works. When watery alcohol goes into your watery blood, it goes all around your body, goes up to your brain and says, give me some brain cells. All right, liver, ooh, kidneys, chop, chop, chop. And you go to the bathroom, whoop, comes out down here. I said, wait a minute. What do you mean, whoop, and it comes out down here? He says, calm down, man. I told you, alcohol is one water-soluble poison. So the body tries to wash it out with water. And finally, 12 to 24 hours later, whoop, you do get it out. He says, but don't worry. We don't need a whole lot of time with young people. They become alcoholics in 1/10 the time. But here's what I like about my THC. You can't wash out THC in marijuana. I said, how come? He said, because THC in marijuana is not water-soluble, it's fat-soluble. So you pick up the joint, you say, let's party, all right, all right. You light it up, 421, you say, who? No, I never saw her before, but I'm going to check her out tonight. You take a hit, but when you take a hit, you hear the sound of THC going inside your body looking for fat, and it sounds like this. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Well, I've never been inside this body before. All right, this is a nice head. Lots of nice cells in this head, too. A few cuties. Howdy. Is that how they say it out here in West? Howdy? I like that. That's cute. My name is THC, but you cells can call me T for short. By the way, I want to hide inside your fat cells so they can't wash me out. Is there any fat here today? Now, don't point at anybody, okay? All the girls want to go, shoot, you know. But here's the thing. Every single cell inside your body has fat. Every single cell. But what's the biggest fat gland that you can think of inside your head? It is 1/3 fat. Hint, think of. Don't strain yourself. 30 seconds. Brain. Who said the stomach over here? That dude behind you? No, it's the brain. Well, let's check out some brain cells. Electronic microscope. 2 big clean brain cells, and right in the center of the cell is something called the nucleus. Now, the nucleus is the boss of the cell. It tells the cell what to do, when to do, and how fast to do it. Have you ever heard of Captain America before? Well, this dude is Captain Nucleus. Dun, 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 dun. Settle down, guys. Captain Nucleus here. And it's my job to make sure that your body grows. And look, here's how I do it. You eat some food, some good food. I go to the food. I take the energy out of the food. I put it into your body. Your body grows, and I throw the waste material out. Watch. Check it. All right, here comes some good food now. Energy and waste out, energy and waste out. Stop! This is a Twinkie. But I cannot make your bodies grow when you eat Twinkies. I make cavities and zits. You got that, zit face? All right, now, good food. Ah, good food, all right. Energy and waste out, energy waste out, energy waste out. But while the guy is eating, you start smoking your joint. And the THC gets on Captain Nucleus, and he forgets what he's supposed to do. Energy and waste out, energy and waste out, energy. Waste. Don't waste this. All right, this is like good stuff. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this waste material and put it down the bottom of the cell and just space out for a while. Well, what happens to the nice clean cells while Captain Nuke is spacing out? Do they stay clean? How can they? Dun da dun dun da dun dun da dun dun da dun. Stinky doo dun da dun. Now, is there anything inside the nucleus that THC might like to gobble up? Like the number of genes and chromosomes or hormones which make you grow. THC loves that stuff. Well, what do we call it when cigarettes do this to our lung cells? What do we call it? Cigarettes cause. Well, that's a very ugly picture you're painting about cigarettes. The magazines don't paint an ugly picture like that. The magazines paint a very beautiful picture. You open up a magazine and you see my hero. He's riding a horse. His name is Big, Handsome, Macho Dude. And he says, girls, I am the most handsome man in the whole world. That's right, the whole thing. More handsome than E.T. So guy, if you want to be as handsome and macho as I am, you better do what I do, and I smoke Marlboros. Do cigarettes cause cancer? Somebody's not sure, but the answer is yes. If they do, how come they don't stop making cigarettes? Oh, don't they care about us? Don't the cigarette companies care about us? They say, forget us. Us can drop dead tomorrow, as long as we pay for it today. And they're never ever going to show us the truth in a magazine. You should open up a magazine and see the same guy. You should see big, handsome, macho dude. But not riding a horse, you should be riding a hospital bed. And if you bust the cigarette companies, you say, come on, straighten up, Jim, come on. They say, we're sorry. Yes, it is true that cigarettes cause cancer. So don't smoke your tobacco. Do it. Now this is cool. Isn't it, girls? Isn't it cool? Isn't it cool when guys have brown stuff dripping out their mouth? Isn't that cool? You know, you don't get lung cancer when you chew tobacco. You don't eat with your lungs, dummy. You eat with your face. And the brown stuff sits on top of your gums. You get rotten gums. Then you get those rotten teeth. Rotten breath. And then some people who chew lots of tobacco, they get those little white spots on the inside of their cheek. That's called leukoplakia, right? And 6% of the people who get that, you know what else they get? Yeah, cancer of the face. Can you kiss without your face? I know teenagers would try, but you cannot, right? Now, when you buy an ounce of dope, or you buy a joint, it's not going to have a list of ingredients on the side, you know? It's going to be just like the cigarette packages that say on the front, try Marlboros! Then on the side they whisper, cigarette smoking may be hazardous to your health. How come they don't say, this garbage will kill you? Try Marlboros. Why? They couldn't make the money that way. And when you start smoking dope, nobody's going to say to you, come on, man, the THC will destroy your hormones. Want to get high? And hormones are very important to you. They really are. When guys are in 6th grade, they have a real high voice like this. Yup, 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 no hormones at all. Girls over here, boys over here. But then something really weird starts to happen. The guys get to high school, and the voices go up and down, boom, 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 boom. Get really funny, really flaky, right? And all the girls run away, and the guys say, what's the matter, girls? Where are you going? Something wrong? Girls say, yeah, it's your voice. Well, I can't help it. I only got half my hormones. But don't worry, girls. One day, all my hormones will come in. And when they do, my voice will get lower and lower and lower. My voice will come down and down. And then I will say, watch out, girls. My hormones have arrived. And girls, you can always tell when the guys get their hormones because they come around. Back, back, back. Your hormones are the same story. Let's check it out. When you start out, you have very little hormone action, but when you get to high school, you go light speed. Until you smoke one joint and your hormone levels go boop. You go, buddy, what happened? Body says, THC in marijuana destroys hormones. You say, well, I didn't know that. I won't smoke anymore. I promise. I won't smoke anymore. Until the weekend comes, boom, But buddy, you went too far that time, too far. Look, no I didn't. Look at this. THC in marijuana stays in your body for 30 days because it's fat soluble, not water soluble. You don't wash it out. So even if you only smoke on the weekends, are there 30 days in between the weekends? No. That's cool, man. I only smoke every other weekend or so. You still don't have 30 days. What about the guys, you know, they're on a special kamikaze squad, smoke 2-3 times a day. Their hormones go, poof. And you can always tell because they all talk the same way, right? They say, don't hassle me, man. I don't want to hear no drug lecture. I'm cool. Well, this is called Stonerville, right? I used to be the mayor of Stonerville. And all the inhabitants of Stonerville are called crispy critters, right? They're all burnt out. And one day while I was being burnt out, a little voice said to me, psst, psst. I said, who is psst me? And the voice said, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? I said, first of all, it's none of your business. But now that we brought it up, maybe I'll grow up. Maybe I'll space it out. Maybe I'll have a family. The voice said, I said, how come? The voice said, look, it takes millions of healthy sperm for a man to make a baby. I said, millions? Millions? Can I just take a thimbleful and call the Job Corps? Well, how come they got to be so healthy? Well, you see, sperm has to swim a long way to find the egg. How far? Far out, man? No, well, it'd be like one of us swimming from here all the way to Seattle. Have you heard of Mark Spitz before? I'm talking about Olympic sperm, strong stuff. Shoo! And you need hormones, guys, to make your sperm that healthy. Now, girls, you notice girls always laugh at the guys when they mess up. Girls go, tee-hee-hee-hee. That's because girls don't understand. And see, girls are born with one basket of eggs, and they never go to the market again. Right? So girls, when you're born, your eggs are too tiny. Your eggs have to get healthy. They have to grow. They have to mature. You have to learn how to release them on time every single month. What does that for you? Hormones. What turns little guys with squeaky voices like this into hunks? Hormones. And what turns big feet, knock-knee girls into superwomen? Hormones. Hormones are our best friends, but hormones are a little bit shy of THC. You have to make up your minds because things are a lot different now than what they used to be. In other words, it took me basically 9, 10, 11 years before I smoked dope and lost my memory. But it won't take you that long to experience some of these symptoms. Here's why. When I first started smoking dope, I was a freshman in high school. This is how much THC was in one joint. There was less than 1%. And then it went up to 2%. And all the doctors that had said, marijuana is harmless, and they said, wait a minute, a different story. But then 1975, it was higher than 4%. Some found it to be 6% THC in one joint. And that's pretty much about the time I started slowing down because my memory was already shot. Well, this is what you're smoking now. You're smoking dope from Hawaii. Oregon has some of the best dope in the world now. In Northern California, the biggest market is down around you guys, down here in Southern Los Angeles, Southern California. So this is what you're getting. You're getting 12 to 15% THC in one joint. Are you going to have 9, 10, 11 years to be as dumb as I was? No, you're not. And nobody's telling you about this because more and more marijuana is making money. All right. Chapter 2 of the physical body. You walk down the street barefoot and step on a piece of glass. What happens to your foot? You say, ah, chihuahua. The signals shoot from your big toe to your brain. Light speed. Zoo! They say, lift your foot up, you big dummy. You say, ha, ha. But how do the signals make it from the big toe to the brain? What do you have all over your bodies? Well, let's don't call them nerves. Let's call them super light speed highways for your thoughts. And THC and marijuana loves those thought highways. The nerves, they make them go. So your thoughts go, ah, boo. And your grades go, boo. And you say, I don't care anymore. It's cool. And then you notice and you say, whose blood is following my big toe down the street? If he wasn't high, he could figure it out. So, if your lungs get dirty, let's fill them up with tobacco. It'll make them healthier. And if your brain gets dirty, let's give it a bath in alcohol. All right. And THC and marijuana build stronger bodies 12 ways, right? What's this one right here? Wow, mental body. What in the world is a thought? Have you been thinking about that? What is dreaming? Some little dude between your ears with a camera showing movies? Smile, close up. And then you wake up in the morning and you remember that dream? Woohoo! What is memory? Well, I'll tell you what, I want everybody to raise your right hand and I'll show you exactly what memory is. That's a shame. In high school, don't know where your right hand is anymore. That's too bad. I need 2 volunteers, you and you. Step right up. Dun dun dun, dun dun dun. What's your name, partner? Mike. Mike, glad to meet you, Mike. And you are? Lynn. Lynn. Mike, I want the cute one to stand on the chair. That's not you, that's her, okay? Huh? Stand on it? Yeah. Up, Shiva, up, up! Thank you very much. Okay, Mike, you stand right in front. Okay. Back up, she won't bite. Back up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Memory Show. This is the Memory Show. And we have 2, not 1, but 2 big stars in the Memory Show. First of all, the first star is very important because he, yes, he holds on to the brand new things that you learn for the first time in life. Standing on the floor, how about a big hand for short-term memory? Short. Now, high on the chair is one very important one because you see, she holds on to the most important things that you need for the rest of your life. How about a warm round of applause for long-term memory? Long enough. All right. Now, everybody has a memory team, right? And you take your memory team to school where you see your teacher and you say, Mr. Berrybush, how you doing, Mr. Berrybush? What's happening? You have a new book? Well, can I see the new book, please? Oh, ho, Mr. Berrybush, that's a very thick book. What are we going to do with all this? Huh? Have a test in 2 days? No, we can't learn all this in 2 days. Maybe 2 years, but not 2 days. Huh? You don't care? We in trouble now. I'm going to talk to my short-term memory. I'll see you around. See you in 2 days. Hey, how would you like to be in this school for the rest of your life? I didn't think so. Look, we got to pass this test. Light speed. It's my job to study. I'll study, put the information through my eyeballs. Automatically, it goes to short-term. Short-term grabs it, hands it to long-term. Long-term grabs it, puts it right inside the long-term memory bank. Right? Earth to long-term. Are you here? Okay, good. Okay, here we go. Test in 2 days, study hard. Here we go. Jam hard. Information in. You give the short-term, give the long-term. All right, boop, boop. All right, not bad. She got it in the ears, but I'll take it. So let's see how she's doing. She wasted it one time. Let's see how she's doing. We say, how much is 1 and 1? Too slow. Watch out, we got a dumb one here. We're in trouble. All right. Test in 5 minutes. We better cram. Give it the short term, give the long term, put it right. Boop. All right. Test time. How much is 1 and 1?
2.
Woo! You pass. And you feel real good about passing. So you want to celebrate. But you don't celebrate with soda pop. You celebrate with dun 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 dun. But THC in marijuana destroys the short-term memory. So you say, I'm going to party, but not you short-term. This is bad for you. He goes, what? So what does he get? Boom, 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 boom. THC, looking for fat inside the body. Boop. Well, all right. I've never been inside this head before. All right. Do you live here? You are. I know you're short-term memory. Well, all right. My name is THC. Call me T for short. All right. Well. You've been holding out on me. Short term, can you take a couple steps over that way? Thank you. You better take a couple more. Take those big feet right out of the picture there. All right. As we used to say in the old country, Mama, you with me now. And don't forget, you can't say anything until I say it first. You got that? Good. Then when I say it, then you say it. Got that? Good. We're going to sing a song now. Got that? Good. Here we go. Ready? And let me do this part because we got better rhythm than you guys, all right? Well, you know it's true, all right? Okay, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Are you coming in or what? I forgot you guys like that country and western stuff. I can handle it too. Watch, I've been working on it. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, boom.
Boom, 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 boom. She's cute, but she's getting dumber by the minute, right? But it's not her fault because long-term memory doesn't get the information first. Who gets the information first? What happened to Shorty? Boom, boom. Girls, you go to a party. I know you don't want to play with dangerous chemicals, but some guy is smoking dope in the room. You're not touching the joint, but you're breathing the same air. Even if you breathe the same air, what do you get? All together now, girls? Thank you very much. I'm glad you understand. Now, future mothers of America, you bring home a brand new baby. And the baby's got a brand new short term and a brand new long term. But the baby's breathing the same air that somebody is smoking in. What does the baby get? All together now? Thank you very much. I'm glad you understand. What about if the mother's smoking dope and the baby's nursing? Can the baby get the THC poison through the breast milk? Absolutely, because THC concentrates in the breast milk. They found out in Boston City Hospital and King's Hospital in New York that some babies are even being born with a marijuana syndrome called fetal cannabis syndrome, which means they aren't totally developed and they're undernourished and stuff like that. Shorty, get back in here. Now look, I only picked this guy because he was handsome and intelligent, right? No, he's a good guy, because I knew he would say the right things when I said, "You want to smoke some dope with me?" I knew he would say, "No way." No way, right? Because when short term says no way, that's the only way that short term and long term can stay together for a long time. How about a big hand for short and long? You did good, thank you. You did good. Don't be embarrassed, all right? Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. I admit I do like to embarrass white people. Sometimes I do. Because you guys can do something wonderful that we can't do. Watch this. How you guys turn red like that? It doesn't take long at all. See, we don't turn red. We turn a little purple, but we don't get red, you know. You guys just go, whoo, you know. My little girl embarrasses me all the time. As a matter of fact, my little girl is 4 years old. I remember when she was only 1.5 years old, she was learning something brand new called getting to the bathroom and making a mess. Can you do that? It's incredible. They just ignore the signals like they don't have a short-term memory. They go, boop, boom. And if you're a parent, you can always tell. You say, "Come here, now." Don't you know Pampers cost $5 a box? Watch out for the signal, you little dummy. And they actually look for the signal. Here, signal, here, signal. But always catches them by surprise. Boop, ah, boom. Oh, Daddy, I forgot. Come on, forget this. And then they get it, they say, potty, 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 potty. They finally get it, but this is what I mean by finally. It takes guys as long as 2 to 3 years to learn how to use their short-term, long-term memories and learn how to get to the bathroom without making a mess. 2 to 3 years. It only takes girls 1.5 years. Don't you dare smile. I don't think you understand. Let me explain. You see, I admit we guys, we start out a little bit dumb, a little bit slow. But then we get real fast and real smart later. But now girls, you start out real fast and real smart, you get dumb later. So it kind of balances out all right. But here's the main point. Do young people in America need THC in their bodies to shorten their short-term, long-term memories? You know what I heard a guy say one time? "Oh, well, see, man, I don't need my memory because I'm not going to college." Can you believe it? And the first thing that THC does when it gets in your body, it makes you defensive, so you don't want to hear the information. I look at my little girl, and I am so glad that I didn't destroy her before she was born, because THC does go into the baby in the uterus, you know? Do little kids need marijuana? Is THC their best friend? No. Are they going to grow to be normal and have all the potential? How about, are they going to go at light speed? Let's wipe out the mental body. This one is called the emotional body. And it's important to me because it's about my brother. He died from an overdose of heroin about 2 years ago. And I wasn't totally shocked because I started smoking dope when I was in high school when I was a freshman. And I was using heroin by the time I was a sophomore. Now, this is not to say that everybody who smokes dope is going to go to heroin. But see, very often it can happen like this. Remember when you first left junior high school and you're going to the big time, to the high school? Remember how it felt? Mount Olympus? And you went off and you said, "I'm going to the high school, all right." But when you got there, some big kid said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I am going into the high school." He said, "No, you ain't." I said, "Why not?" He said, "You gotta be cool to get into the high school." I said, "What do you mean by cool?" And he said, "Why do you think we call it high school?" Now, I would have said no most times, but there was something that I wasn't prepared for, and it's called everybody is looking at you. Are you going to do what we do and be cool, or are you going to be an outsider? So I said, I'll try it. But my lungs said, no. I said, why, lungs? My lungs said, in 1983, smoking one joint is like smoking 20 cigarettes at one time. But everybody was still looking, so I said, shut up, lungs. Nobody asked you. And I tried it. Boom, boom. Am I cool now? He said, yeah. Thanks for the money. Come on in. I said, I told you I was cool. I'm very cool. He said, what? I said, very. He said, no, you're not very cool. You're this. But if you want to be very cool, try this. And I said, little white pills, all right. Woo, 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 woo. Whoa, hey, 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 I'm ready for the football team now. All right, what am I doing now? He said, now you are speeding. I said, all right, am I cool? He said, yeah. I said, am I smart? He said, no. I said, why not? He said, well, think about it like this. You're driving down the street in your car, and your car runs out of oil, but you keep on driving anyway. My wife did that. What happens to the car? Burns up. So here you are running around until you run out of energy, and you keep on running around anyway. What happens to the body? I said, so my nerves are shot? He said, yeah. Is that why my hair is falling out, little curly cues all over the floor? He said, yeah. Thanks for the money. I said, I'm not trying nothing else unless it's natural. He said, key word, natural. Let me see what I can tell him now. Come here. See that? God made this. God brought this down from heaven. And God stuck these mushrooms into the ground for us to pick. I said, shrooms, all right. So I tried them. And then he said, and the angels brought this dusty stuff down. And I said, is it angels dust? He said, yeah. How come he doesn't tell the truth and say, no, this is PCP. They made it for animals in the zoo, so we sell it to young people too. Because he doesn't make any money like that. And so we tried the heroin after that. And my brother did not survive that trip. He died, he overdosed. His habit got to be between $100 and $200 a day. Now, what happens when you lose your physical, your mental, and your emotional? What else happens automatically? You lose your big eye, your consciousness, what tells you right from wrong. And what do they do automatically? So you are now become ripped off. How many people here have brothers and sisters who you don't want them to play with drugs? Hands up. How many of you are willing today to think about the example you create? Hands up. You have to decide to claim the victory for your life, because nobody else is going to do it for you. It doesn't matter how many lectures you hear, how many teachers tell you, or nothing else. You have to decide to accept the victory for your life. Don't do it for me, you know. Like, go home and go into the bathroom and shut the door and look in the mirror and see who you are and make your decision. Think about it. God bless you. Thank you very much.